Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome to Maymay Made It's first World Card Making Day Hop. Our design team members have taken on a big challenge today. We have 13 members participating, so you have lots to watch and read today. Each of us was assigned a sentiment by random drawing, and mine was I've been thinking of you. Now, once you watch my video, head to the description box below and click on the blog post linked for you. There, you're going to find all the links to all the other videos and blog posts of our sentimental, also called as Mission Incartable challenge. So please be sure to subscribe to each member that you go to today to their channel or to their social media so you never miss any of our projects. And did I mention there's a giveaway? Details of the giveaway will be in the description box as well. Hey, let's get started. So my topic, as I said, or my sentiment is thinking of you. Well, I said this in my Thursday video. I constantly, when I think of thinking of you cards, I always think of like flowers and kind of soft, landscape scenes and things like that. And then I was looking at my stamps and look at this one. I forgot all about having this one. I've been thinking of you. This is perfect. And I have not played with the Bee's Knees stamp set in a long time. I hate to even say how long, but I love this set. It was one of my first, so we're going to play with this one today. Now, I want to attempt to make a beehive. So let's see how that process goes. So I'm breaking in before the video starts to apologize for the audio. I left my second microphone on, so in some places it sounds like I'm in a hole, and I apologize. I was not in a hole, I was just in my craft room, but the audio messed up. So please forgive me for that. I hope you can still enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Here we go. Let's get started. So I have this yellow paper. It's really bright yellow. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some 3/4 of an inch strips. So it'll be 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm not sure how long yet, but I'm going to cut, I think, 2 strips at 3/4 of an inch. I have this idea in my head that might work, and I went on Pinterest and kind of looked for some inspiration, and I saw some, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for, so I'm going to try to do it this way. So I've got these guys at 3/4 of an inch. Now, what I need to decide is how wide do I want my beehive to be? I think I want it to be pretty big. What is that? 1, 2, 3. That's about 3.5 inches wide. So let's start the first one at 3.5 inches and see what we get. So you know how a beehive is shaped? I'm kind of going to mimic that. So I'm going to start at 3.5. Then I'm going to kind of look and see where I want it to go from there. I want you to kind of imagine a cake. You're kind of like stacking layers. So I kind of like this being 1/8 of an inch shorter, which means I need to cut this strip 1/4 of an inch shorter. So I'm going to go up here and just cut several strips 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I started at 3.5. So I'm going to go to 3 1/4. And then from there, I'll go to 3. And I'm just going to go till it feels right. I don't think there's a certain height for beehives. I could be wrong. I don't even think beehives actually look like this. I think these are more hornets' nests. I don't really know. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and that one was at, see, talking, and I forgot what I was doing. That one was at 3 inches. So this one needs to be 2 3/4. So now I'm gonna go to that second strip that I cut. So 2 3/4, and then 2.5. And we'll just get to wherever we get. So there's 2.5. That's a pretty tall beehive so far. So 2.5, maybe one more, which needs to be 2 inches. Can this one do it? So I don't have to cut another one? I think it'll work. It's a little long, but I think it'll do just fine. Okay, so you're doing this with me. We're figuring this out. I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips from 3.5 up, okay? 1/4 of an inch smaller as we go. Now I'm going to take my 1-inch circle punch, and I'm going to round this edge with this circle punch, but I want to show you what I'm going to do. Instead of going into the punch, because that would make more of a C shaping like this, I'm going to take the paper into the hole, and I'm going to slide it in just until I can't see the edge of the cardstock anymore, and I'm going to punch. Ooh, I slipped. My hand slipped. Did you see that happen? Let's do it again. So slide that in there. I'm not wanting to take any length off. I'm just wanting to round the corner out. There we go. So see how I got that kind of rounded edge? Let's do the same thing over here. So I'm going to slide this guy in. And I'm kind of centering it as best I can by just looking at it and just punching. So now we have this shape, which is more beehive shape. That's more what we're looking for. Let's do the rest of them that way. So we've got our beehive done, but I think they're going to need a door to enter in and out of, wouldn't you think? So I think I'm going to use brown. I would normally go yellow and black, but I've not done brown before. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's cut another small strip, something about the same. Yeah, about 3/4 of an inch. Let me go this way so I don't waste any paper. Let's go 3/4 of an inch this way. And then, or do I want to do wider? Let's do an inch. We can always, oh, well, I'm going to go a little under an inch so it'll fit in my punch really well. So let's do that. And let's decide how tall we want this door. I think about 1.5 inches. I'm just guessing. We'll just see what happens. Just cardstock, right? And like I say all the time, let me bring mine and you don't have to do that. You can do it correctly when you do it. All right, I'm going to stick this in here. We're going to try to round this out again. This may not be round enough. Let's see. It's pretty cute. I think that will make a beehive door just fine. Okay. So now I think I'm going to distress the edges of my beehive so that you can kind of see them, make them kind of individual pieces and they don't just look like one big yellow blob, if that makes sense. And I'm going to use my Vintage Photo Distress Oxide because I don't want it to be very dark brown. I want kind of a lighter brown, and I feel like the oxide property will not let it be quite so dark. I don't want like a, definite line. I just want to add a little dimension to this piece. So there's the top. See how that's just adding a little dimension? And I'm not going very far into the piece. I'm kind of staying out and keeping the inking close to the edge. I want it to feel very round. So you see how that's looking? Most of it is staying to the outside edge. That makes the piece look very dimensional like that. So I'm going to do that to all of the pieces now. So that's all of my strips all inked up. They look a lot better, look very dimensional. And this is my little brown door piece. Now I think I'm going to assemble this beehive. And let me show you what I'm thinking. I'm going to pop it up on the card itself. But for here, I'm just going to assemble it together. And I think what I'm going to do is run the glue up the bottom of the piece above. So I'm going to stack them on top of the one underneath, if that makes sense. So here's my bottommost layer. Then this guy's going to lay on top of that because I think it looks more beehivey if they're kind of crushed down a little bit, not right next to each other. So in other words, I'm not going to put this down on paper and then just stack them next to each other. I'm going to do them this way so they overlap a little bit, and I think that gives it more even of that beehive feel. So notice that I'm putting the glue on the smaller piece and not the piece that's laying here. I don't want to put too much glue. I don't want to have it coming out here. So if you put the glue on the smaller piece, you have a lot better chance of getting the glue where you want it and not everywhere else. This is cute. I think it's going to work. All right, let's keep going. I told you I saw one of these done on Pinterest. The one on Pinterest was done with the word window punch from Stampin' Up. So if you have that punch, you can make a smaller version of this. And it inspired me to do this bigger one. I thought, oh, if I do these by hand, we get kind of the same look. This is looking very beehivey. Last one. And then we're going to place that door. I'm not exactly sure how I want that door to go. If I want it to the side or in the middle, I want to kind of lay it and look at it. So how high do I want this little door? It's kind of cute like that, but I'm thinking something more like that so that I can see more of the hive here. So I think I'm going to put that down lower and then trim off that excess. So let's do that. Put some glue here. Trim off about that much. Let's pick this little guy up. Stick that down. And of course I could have popped that on dimension again, but I want to pop this whole guy up on my card. So, all right, let's trim off the excess. So there's that. Now I always love to see white stitching on a bee card. So around this little door, I'm going to add some white stitching. Is this a door? Surely it is, right? This is where the bees go in and out. Okay, I think it's a door. We're going to call it that. Our bee entry. But I always love white stitching on bee cards. I think it is so cute. There we go. Precious. Just gives it a little extra added something. Now, because I know I'm going to pop this up on my card while I'm working on it, I'm going to go ahead and put my Scotty on it. No sense in waiting. I'll put a little piece up there that I had on my roll. Cut me some Scotty. Scotty is my foam tape roll, by the way. If you're not familiar, this is my foam roll. That's about halfway used. That guy's huge when you get a brand new one. And so I'm going to trim this guy down. And because this is World Card Making Day, our team want to encourage you to send a card today or this weekend. You know, we make cards so many times and we just keep them kind of in our stash and we don't send them out. But what a great day to be reminded that everybody likes to get a card in the mail. It's so much better than bills or junk mail. So take time this weekend to either make a card for somebody or dig into your stash and send a card to somebody, even if it's just to say, "I've been thinking about you." You'll get lots and lots of inspiration from what everybody's doing on the blog post or on their videos and blog posts, because we're doing 13 sentiments. So we're doing everything from birthday to wedding. I think we have new baby. I can't even remember them all. There's so many of them. So upon further inspections of beehives, I decided, I don't know, there was something wrong with this top. I went back and looked, and this top needs to be rounded. So I'm going to try this and see if it works. I think it might. I've cut another strip that's just a little bit shorter than the top, a quarter of an inch shorter, and I'm going to round the edges again, just like I did on the others. So starting out the same way. This is just so I can keep that same kind of curve to either side. Then I'm going to put it into my bigger punch and punch it again. So I'm sticking this to a Post-it note. This just allows me to have some control over it while I put it into my punch here. And what I'm going to do is punch this top rounded. I think this one's too small. This is my 1 3/4 inch. I'm going to go to a bigger punch. You could use an oval punch too if you had an oval punch. I do have one, but I don't have it near me. And you know what that means. I'm not going to go find it. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to punch this one about like that. Let's see what that looks like. It's just paper. I can always make another one. But I think this is going to be the top to my beehive now, and I think I'll like it better. Yeah. See, doesn't it just need to be round? Let's ink it and then look at it. I got these little points on the edge, and I'm just going to use my scissors to get rid of those. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this is not hard. I'm just going to nip those off right there. Perfect. Okay, now let's ink it, and let's look at it. Yeah, I like it better. Okay, let's glue it down. It just needed something. It felt like it just kind of was broken or went into nothing. For me, it needed something at the top. Now that feels better. So I've cut myself a card base here. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, and that will get us an A2 size card. While I got it in here, I'm going to fold this over and then crease this down with my bone folder. So there is our card base. Let's see what our beehive looks like on there. Oh, that's cute. It's a good focal point too. I think I want to put something behind it, maybe even a pattern paper, or, oh, you know what I could do? I know. All right, we'll get right back together. I'm going to use my Fiskars press, the one that has the feet on it. I don't know if you've seen these before, but these have these little rubber feet. So when you place it down, it's not touching your cardstock until you press. And that way I can kind of line this hive up. I think I'm going to do it almost in stripes, maybe. Not cover the whole thing, but maybe just kind of stripe it across. And I want it to feel a little soft and distressed. So I'm not looking for like this perfect stamp from it, but I'll take what I get, you know. So ink that up. And then I'm going to come at an angle up here. And see, it's not touching the paper until I press it. Press that down and let that ink transfer. There we go. See, so we start to get some of that hive look. And I think I'm going to finish it out. So which side needs to go there? If I do it with that one, okay. I'm just going to ink this side up. And then using the press, I'm going to line this up. I just want to get that top. I didn't quite ink it enough. Do a little more ink. Okay. So line those up on top of each other and then press. There we go. And we just continue it off the page. I think I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, and then I'll decide if I want any in the middle. So now I've got some beehive at the top and bottom. I think I'm going to add this here. I like how that looks. That's looking really cute. And now I need a bee and a sentiment. So I've got out my Misty and a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp this little bee in brown ink. But I brought up the Misty because today I want to stamp him in Memento Rich Cocoa, because I want to color with my alcohol markers and I don't want my ink to smear. So I'm going to use this dye ink. But sometimes, especially with bolder images like this one, this ink can puddle on your stamps. So you'll want to use a stamp positioner for it. And what that means is it just allows me to stamp it multiple times so I can get a nice crisp stamp. And I'm using brown because I use brown everywhere else on the little beehive and everything, so I don't want to mix the black with it. So can you see how it's a little bit splotchy on that tail there? I'm going to re-stamp the whole thing. And see if that'll help. Much, much crisper. So now he is ready for me to color and cut out. Now for coloring, I'm going real simple. I'm doing two colors, a really pale yellow and a darker yellow. I'm going to start with the really pale one, and I'm going to color these stripes on his tummy. He's got a little dot right there I want yellow. I'm going to color these stripes with the paler yellow first. And honestly, you could do just one color with him. By using the brown ink and then the yellow, he looks super cute like that. Then I'm going to come back in with the darker yellow, and I'm just going to hit the edges just a little bit, just to kind of give him a little dimension. Not very much at all. I'm not looking to make him look like he's perfectly colored or anything like that. Just a little bit there on the edges. And then for his wings, I'll probably treat that with some kind of shimmer or something once I get him on the card. And for his face, I think I'm going to leave it white. I could do it yellow, though. His face can be yellow. Let's do it yellow. Let's color his little face yellow. And I'm going to treat his eyes and his wings with something different after I put him on. That, then I'm going to take the other yellow and just kind of shade in places. Not much. Under his eyes, around his face. Very little. Now I'm going to cut him out with my cutter bees. Get it? Cutter bees, cutting a bee. Oh my gosh. I got my bee all cut out, but I didn't do a perfect job. You can see there where you can see some of the white. So I'm going to take a brown marker and just run around the edges and clean all that up. By doing this, it just kind of hides that white that we missed with the scissors and makes it look like you cut him out perfectly. So back to my Misty, and I'm going to ink up my sentiment, how I've been thinking of you. I'm going to stamp that down. Again, I'm using this just in case I don't get a great image. I can do this twice. And I didn't get a perfect image up there. I'm going to do that one more time. Much better. Now I have to decide how it's going to go on the card. I'm just unsure. I think I'm going to cut this down like a ribbon and see about putting it on an angle. So let's go back to the trimmer. I'm going to put this into my trimmer this way and trim off the excess. And now I'm just going to look at it for a second and see. Might be cute like that, going at an angle. I really like that. And I might even cut this with the circle punch like I did the others. So I'm going to leave that tail on there because I don't know exactly where I'm going to need to cut that off. And let's put our little bee up on some foam. All right, so the bee is on some foam and ready to go. Let's go ahead and stick down the hive. I think we know it's going there. I'm just going to stick it in place here, like so. And then put my bee at the top of my hive, just like that. And then this guy, let's do that little edge I was telling you about. So let's get our punch again. Let's see if it'll fit in the 1 inch. I didn't measure this. It won't, so I'm going to get a different punch. Let's do the 1 3/4 I didn't use earlier. See how it does in here. Yeah, I like that. That keeps to the same shape we've been doing. And then I want to trim it so it'll go on an angle like this. So I want to glue this at an angle like this. So I'm going to glue it directly to the hive and then just trim that edge off. So I've got glue on the back here. I'm going to stick this down like so. And I may even need to slide a little foam square underneath there, but we'll see. So let's trim that. That's cute like that. Okay, let me see if I can put a little foam underneath there. So I have a little foam here that I've taken the sticky off of, or the protector off of both sides. I'm going to slide this underneath here and just stick that into place. That way, that will be lifted up, especially since I had to do that kind of fancy with the fancy footwork. I'm trying to decide if I want to ink around this. I don't think I do. I don't always like to ink. I like the way it looks on the hive, but I don't like it in the other spot. So let's put this guy on top of our card. Now, do I want to pop it up as well? I think I do because I want a little dimension on the edges here. So let's pop that up with foam also. So I got my foam on the back. Then I'm just going to line it up here on the top. Lined up nice and neat. And I think it needed that separation there to give it a little dimension. I like how this card turned out. I think this is really cute. This is crystal glaze. It's just clear. And what it'll do is it'll make the wings look a little shiny. But if you're going to use it, you need to do this and then sit the card aside and let it dry. I'll probably let this dry overnight easily before I put it into the mail. But this will make your wings a little shiny when they hit the light. Just kind of give them a little shimmer. And you can do it on the eyes too. Just some little dots here, like so. And then you got a little glossy bee. Let me see if I can get a shimmer for you, or a shine so you can see it. A little bit, a little shine, but that'll dry and be super, super cute. All right, guys, that is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, I will be mailing this card to somebody really soon, probably on Monday for me because I'll be out of the office over the weekend. But we want to encourage you to mail out at least one card over the weekend. Send someone a little hug in the mail. And when you send that card, come back to our video, mine or any of the team, and say, I mailed a card today. And like I always say, if you make a card, we want to see it in our customer gallery. So head to the description box below for links to the other team members' projects, for the giveaway, the entry form, and for links to our customer gallery. That way you'll know how to be able to upload photos of your cards. And don't forget, subscribe to our team members, either their channels or their social media sites. They have all kinds of inspiration for you guys all the time. All right, have fun hopping, watch every one of the videos, and read all the blog posts for your inspiration today. Thanks so much for taking part in our World Card Making Day hop. It's been super fun. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.